Okay, we are back by popular demand. We're talking Oscars 2020, and we are talking about one of the highly anticipated parts of the Oscar being the Best Picture. It's one of the hardest awards to pick. It's we had a Moonlight moment a couple of years ago that absolutely shocked everyone, and it's like, no.
I can't remember.
Moonlight.
Oh, I was thinking about another
Moonlight got Best Picture over La La Land, remember?
Yeah.
La La Land.
I thought you meant it happened again.
No. Well, it could happen again. There are...
This is a very strong list. I'm talking about...
It's a very strong
Compare
list.
this list to other lists, I don't think you'll find a year as strong as this one for quite a long time. At least another decade.
I personally think it's a two-film race, but equally... I think any of these films could win. And that's where it gets exciting to talk about, because any of these films can win. But I personally think it's going to come down to two films. And we'll discuss why.
Yeah.
But let's start with the first film that's nominated.
Ford vs. Ferrari.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I love this film. I reckon outside of the whole, say, best picture type of, say, technical aspects of earning Best Picture, it is my favorite film based on the pure intensity and thrill ride that this is.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that it's a 24-hour race from the 60s.
It's a difficult subject matter to make.
It makes you understand what it takes to take control of one of these cars, one of these race cars.
Yeah.
And this is why you go like, where you understand like, oh, not everybody can just drive a race car. Like, I like drive, like people like, I like drive fast. You know? And it makes you understand that like you gotta know your engine, you gotta know your car, you know? It's constantly feeding back to you, you know. Had a little.
So next one that is advertised, that's nominated, is The Irishman.
I haven't seen this yet because I haven't set out 3.5 hours of a day.
And that's the thing. It's a 3.5 hour film.
I'll watch it tomorrow.
Like any 3.5 hour film, you're going to have dry sections. And I think that's where I think some of the criticism starts to come in. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's incredibly detailed. I mean, there are so many layers of detail. There are so many executed parts where there's big crowds and there's action and there's discussions and there are twists and there are turns in this film, but the dry parts in between the dialogue, it does get a little bit heavy. So if you have 3.5 hours booked out, just make sure you can stay awake for that whole time, or you can split it up.
I haven't seen it yet, but a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that because it was released on Netflix that they had that kind of thing in mind where you can just pause it at any time?
Yeah, absolutely. This I don't think this could have went to mainstream cinema. It would have had to be a little bit more cutthroat. It would have had to be a little bit more paced.
Yeah, so it was a bit more, say, less urgent than what you would expect for a film of this caliber.
I mean, this film could have been made into a 3-piece TV series, maybe even 4-piece TV series. The way that they made it,
because I believe it's like kind of sectioned off when they're younger and older and in between, right?
Yeah.
So
it's amongst the most expensive film he's ever made. So $159 million budget, and then a runtime of 209 minutes. So it's definitely his longest. And it did have a limited theatrical release.
It was released here for a short time.
It was.
But I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, and look, it's received nominations in good categories.
Where do I pee?
In a pop plant, in some kind of a pop plant. Yeah, it's a long one.
That's the thing that got me. I was like, oh god.
Yeah. So it talks about a guy who paints houses. It's another fancy word for, Hitman, exactly. And they really age both Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and Robert De Niro very well. And then they also take probably about 10 or 20 years off their clock, which looks impressive. Doesn't look so realistic on Robert De Niro, hence probably why it's not going to get a visual effects nomination, because it doesn't look too realistic in parts. The cinematography is great. I really like the cinematography, and I like the attention to detail with the era that it's filmed in, which is really
Does it feel like an older
symbol.
movie?
Yeah, it does, and it feels symbolic to a lot of Martin Scorsese's films. He does really good historical pieces, and he makes it feel realistic. You feel in that era, and you have music, you have violence, and it's like this massive
Is it
crescendo.
a really violent film?
I wouldn't say it's really violent. No, I'd say it's middle of the road as far as violence is concerned. I'd say low to medium. Honestly,
it's one of the 3 movies on this list that I haven't seen.
yeah. And to be honest with you, there's been violence against women in a lot of Martin Scorsese's films because he's trying to paint pictures of the mob.
He's
It's
he's in the era that he's filming in. So
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
in the thing, and if these actresses want they know what they're getting into.
Exactly.
They shouldn't get mad that it's there.
Exactly, and because there's 3 of these older actors, there's not much bold sexuality in it or anything like that. But look, it tells a good story.
That's not what the movie's about.
It's not what it's about. It's around the 1960 elections of John F. Kennedy, and it talks about Hofra, who is this massive wheeling politician who's played by Al Pacino. I think Al Pacino does play a good supporting role. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets up, as a surprise, because he plays a good role actually.
Yeah,
He plays a good role.
I'm
I think he's
excited.
stronger.
I'm excited
Then
to
Pesci.
spend an
Yeah.
entire afternoon or night watching this.
But as I said, it's definitely not Scorsese's best film.
No.
I could name at least 5 before that, but it's a nice little
Would you say it's his
love
most,
letter.
one of his most ambitious films?
Ambitious in the time, absolutely,
And technical aspects.
and technical aspects.
And
Trying to
writing.
get those 3 actors together, and even Ray Romano as well, isn't it? Ray Romano, everybody loves
I
Raymond.
mean, if there was an Oscar for logistics in working out actors' schedules, maybe this one wins.
This one wins it. But hey, here's the thing, Dongy. You try and get all 4 of those actors in a film 30 years ago, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
No.
You wouldn't get them.
No, I
Absolutely
don't
not.
think you can get them. Not on this movie.
Yeah. My hunch is that this one's not going to win too many awards. The fact that it's went on Netflix and managed to get so many nominations is a good
They
effort.
might want to win the small categories.
Yeah. We'll win a couple of small categories. Maybe soundtracks, not bad.
But
But
it's so hard to win because there's so many good films that I think this whole list
yeah.
had these movies come out different years would have totally won.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been a strong contender, but looking at the other films that are nominated, no, I don't think this one's going to be Best Picture.
No. Okay. Next one, Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
Directed by Taika Waititi.
I love Taika Waititi.
You know what?
Love him as a personality. I love him as a personality.
This is a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't expect how heartfelt it was.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all.
Well, they didn't really advertise it like that, did they?
No, I thought it was gonna be going for the jugular, kind of like a Tropic Thunder type of
Yeah,
thing.
comedy.
It's just comedy and
Yeah,
satire.
yeah.
I was expecting a good time. I still got that good time,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
but I didn't expect all the themes about family and humanity.
Mm.
I
Wow.
thought it was just gonna take the piss of Taika Waititi as Hitler
Yeah.
in the film,
Yeah.
which he wasn't in the film as much as I thought he would be.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fascinating because he's Jojo's imaginary friend, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought
Which
he'd
is
be
rather
there
funny.
the whole time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he was technically there the entire time, but
Yeah.
probably was just behind the camera.
Yeah.
for that.
and the kid who's the main character, he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Of kid actors, I usually don't like kid actors, especially if they're in the main role.
Mm.
It usually draws out the inconsistencies in their early careers.
Yeah.
But this kid's good.
Let's hope this kid
I'm
hangs around.
looking
Let's hope
forward.
he doesn't do a River Phoenix or something. Let's hope he
Looking
hangs
forward
around.
to the rest of his career. So yeah, and ScarJo is great in the film.
Yeah, I've heard she's a really good mother.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. How's the accent though? The accent good? German accent, I assume.
German accent never really goes away. Yeah.
Well, that is very good to hear. It's very, very good to hear for that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm not too bad. And then how did...
And this whole sort of subtext in the thing where you're always inside the kid's head. So you get everything from his point of view. But
like
the dramatic irony is that you know the timeline where this movie's set. You're like, Germany's about to lose.
Yeah.
And like you see the subtext of like all the adults doing all the warmongering shit,
Yes,
all the war stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of, you get a little slice of that where you know what's happening, but you know, it's show and tell. You know what's happening.
Exactly.
And Sam Elliott's in this movie. He's so funny in this movie.
So who?
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Which, he's so funny. He plays, his character is implied to be gay, but you never really they never write out and say that he's gay. He's just he's very flamboyant.
Wow, I am very surprised.
You haven't seen this yet?
No, I haven't, but I didn't know he was in there.
Yeah, he's in there. And he's so.
Are you sure it's Sam Elliott or is it Sam Rockwell?
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Sam Elliott's from Star is Born. And course...
the one that plays George Bush and...
Yes, Sam Rockwell.
I'm getting the last name, so my bad.
Your Sam's are getting mixed up.
Yeah.
Because Sam Elliott playing, gay guy, he's never really played that role, so I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah,
but yeah, Sam Rockwell.
He was really funny. That's
brilliant. I saw one of his costumes in there is like this really purpley...
that's the thing.
Little feather at the top.
It really pays off.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And how was the Australians role, Rebel Wilson? How did she go? I heard she's really funny.
Yeah, she's funny. She
That's
just
good.
plays a really satire version of you can't get into the war. So anyone who's there is incompetent, right? So she plays an incompetent character that doesn't know what they're doing with
Exactly. Yeah. Which is a perfect role for her actually.
Yeah.
She's played that role a few times
And
before.
I thought she had difficulty with the accent, but not.
Yeah, and even if she does have difficulty with the accent, she can just play on that, Play on the comedy.
It's
comedic
definitely
value.
Rebel Wilson. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And what about Steve Merchant? He's obviously, one of Ricky Gervais's right-hand man. He's got the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Does he play a big role in that?
He's not that big of a role.
Not that big of a role.
He's very... In his scenes, he definitely... Delivers, yeah. He delivers. That's it.
Because he's a very talented writer, so it wouldn't surprise me if he and Taiken were, relatively close. Might have helped out with the film and just here's a little cameo.
Was asleep on set most of the time.
Is that true?
Yeah, self-confessed.
Oh wow! There you go.
Well, you got to be well rested.
Well, isn't he in a film with Ryan Reynolds? He's
Taika.
Yeah, he's one of the main actors.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's called Free Guy. It's called Free Guy.
Oh, it's coming out.
Yeah, and it's directed by Sean Levy, who's one of the great directors as far as he did Night at the Museum and he did all the Night at the Museums.
Classic.
And he's a very, very smart director, really smart, writing guy. He's acted in some of his own films as well. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So he's Taiken. He did so well with his.
I recommend Jojo Rabbit. I don't think it'll win. It'll win other awards, but I don't think it'll win Best Picture.
Oh.
Had it come out any other year.
I feel that if it came out any other year, it would have been fine with the awards. But yeah,
Joker. What's your gut feel on this one?
Wow. When I saw it, I'm like, yeah, this could win. This could win.
Had it come out the year before.
Agreed. Yeah. I'm gonna be blunt. I don't think it will.
No, I don't.
But gee whiz, some of the shots in it are pretty powerful.
It does lay the groundwork for what comic book films are capable of.
Are capable of doing, absolutely.
I mean, this is the first comic book film that's nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Even
Dark Knight didn't get nominated?
no, because back then it only had 5 nominations.
And that was a limit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it would have, but 2008 was a strong year.
It
if
was.
You remember.
It was a strong year.
And so just, I hope this lays the groundwork for a really good DC run, because I just want more comic book films.
Yeah.
that
And
are-
DC have been in the dark ever since really Marvel have just been kind of
Yeah.
taking over the cinemas.
And just, this lays the groundwork for, like, DC, you don't have to be Marvel.
Nah,
You just do your own thing.
do your own thing.
And that's how all the comic books are. They're just like, they're not all connected. They're just little stories.
Yeah.
that-
And this
and,
one did
you know,
have a connection.
they explore, like, dark themes and,
Yeah.
like, human themes.
Human themes,
But
human
not that
emotions.
MCU does it, they just, DC does it in a very, like,
Gritty way.
gritty way. Kind of
Mhm.
like a worst kind of scenario. Kind
Yeah,
of like
you're right about that.
MCU is kind of like yours, isn't it?
This film had multiple dark undertones and showed violence in a way that a lot
And
of
mental
comic
health
books
as well.
probably, glitter a little bit.
Yeah.
But this one had the real, darkness to it. But it also had moments of beauty in this film and showed off mental illness in a way that is not only believable, but is, perspectives can be so differently manipulated and
And it kind of,
I like the
warns you
perspectives.
as well.
It
Warns
does.
you, if you
It does.
keep being shit to all these people,
this is what they're capable of.
this is what kinds of people can emerge.
Yeah,
So be kinder to people you don't like.
exactly.
Don't write everyone off.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I do mean that.
Really sad to see the downfall. It was sad to
And
just
there's
see
all these
the depression.
And there's all these articles about it where,
Mm,
those types of articles, just don't listen to them, honestly.
mm,
All these people are just virtue signaling.
mm.
They don't really care about the film. They probably saw the film and didn't think of it until
Yeah.
they had to go into work and be like, oh yeah, I saw that film.
Yeah. Internet trolls, keyboard warriors,
No.
You actually have to see the film to understand the psychology and.
They're keyboard warriors, but they're like hired by Vice. So
But yeah, no, I don't think this will win. Look, to be honest, it could win Best Picture.
it could.
It could.
Very controversial if it does.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would
Had
be.
it any other year though.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Little Women.
Little Women.
Didn't.
See it.
I don't think it was made for me.
No, and
Yeah, watch it, catch it on.
I'm sure the cinematography was beautiful.
I'm sure it's a great film.
Yeah,
But at least one for the girls in this one.
yeah. Good actresses in this
Yeah.
as well. Good lead actresses. Emma
Yeah.
Watson, fantastic.
Is this a role where
Maurice.
she actually shines? Where Emma Watson gets to show off Emma Watson? Or
Mm,
is she the same?
not too sure actually.
Yeah, didn't hear much out of this from Emma
Mm.
Watson at least.
No, it wasn't hugely.
But I heard it's a fun, good movie.
Saoirse Ronan, I'm liking her rise up.
I've seen her name more and more.
She's in Lady Bird. I saw her in another film with Margot Robbie. She was really good in that. So yeah, she's really rising up the ranks, and I assume she stars in this film. So, or at least co-stars. So yeah, she's doing very well,
Yeah.
and we'll see where she goes from here. But
Right.
Lady Bird was a very good film.
Yeah. That's on Netflix. I need to catch that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I need to see it as well.
Yeah, Marriage Story.
Marriage Story.
We've talked plenty about it in the other video.
If you're comparing it to other stories in that category,
Yeah, I think the gravity of the story is what pulls us down, because it's not kind of like a life or death situation or like a be all end all type of thing. The rest of the movies have kind of like a, say, weight to them. This does have weight, but it's different. It's
I
kind of,
agree.
it's a exploration of real life themes and real life type of things, and a lot of people don't want to have that in cinema. They
Yeah,
kind of look to cinema to
Escape that.
escape that.
Escape
Like,
that.
and
It's
when
a
you-
form of escape.
Marriage Story is a very it's not that hard of a watch, but it's depending on where you are, it could be a hard watch for a person in a certain situation.
It can be relatable, but it's also a film that does.
It can
it's
put
very
the
close
mirror
to
up
home.
to you as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
because it kind of plays that angle.
Yeah.
And it could make relationships. It could also break them.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a film that you'd go and take your girlfriend to see.
No, that's the
Or your
thing.
boyfriend.
I'd say
Whatever you will.
I'd say if I was married, I wouldn't watch this together with my hypothetical wife.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd
Or
say
maybe
that.
I would have had that relationship with her.
If I was really confident about it, I
If
would.
I totally knew.
If I wanted a little bit of a downer, I would. But yeah, I if you combine.
I don't think it is
Yeah.
not my tip to win.
Yeah, and the thing is, for best picture, you got to combine a lot of elements together. You got to pretty much combine all those other categories together. And is this the best film out of these other nominations? And
Had
just
it-
say it doesn't compare
Had
as
it
much.
come in at a week a year,
Yeah,
probably up there.
it'd be up there, but I even in a week here, I don't know if it would
Yeah,
come
but I
first.
think it's one of those films that'll be in there with. Oh, have you seen Marriage Story from 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be used as a reference point, and
Yeah.
it's a strong film.
I think it'll be studied. It's a lot like the 2003 film Lost in Translation.
Yeah, I
It also
agree.
stars
I
Scarlett
agree.
Johansson, 17 years old at the time.
Oh, incredible.
It's,
Bill Murray, yes.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love that film.
Yeah,
It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do filmmaking. So.
it's beautiful, and we watched it at film school.
Yeah, and that's why that film it's quite similar because there's no real stakes involved. But there are stakes in this,
There are.
but it's not the end of your life.
Yeah. And there's a real beauty.
Yeah, it's more of an exploration of humanity more than
And especially isolation. Especially isolation in that film.
Alright.
Now, the next film.
This is my personal
1917.
tip. This is my personal
Yeah.
tip. This is what I think is gonna happen. But I have my personal tip for later.
Yeah, 1917. They're saying this is the best war film since Saving Private Ryan.
Might be better than Saving Private Ryan.
It's filmed. It feels like one long continuous shot.
Yeah, which when you look at behind the scenes is amazing at what they try to pull off. I mean,
It's
can you
extraordinary.
imagine going for a 7-minute take?
It's
I know
extraordinary.
we're going for like 20 to 30-minute takes here, but
Yeah, we're doing pretty well actually.
we're not.
But then again, there's
We're
not
not remembering the
it's not-
script.
shells going off behind us and bomb
Yeah.
craters that we have to run past. And by the way, if you see the scene where the young soldier is running to deliver the message to try and call off an attack, it is extraordinary. He is running whilst there is a charge going on. So they've blown the whistle, the men are running out of their trenches, and he's practically running across them. So he bumps into a couple, which is incredibly realistic. Maybe him getting up as quickly as he does.
Unscripted.
Yeah.
That all happened accidentally.
Wow.
It just kept rolling.
It's extraordinary.
You can't
Knowing that is unscripted is even better
Yeah.
because it was so believable.
It adds so much more to the story.
It does, doesn't it?
You know.
And even you see the behind the scenes footage. Mendes is there and in this truck that's on rails, and all these craters are going, and he knows exactly what's going on. He's sheltering himself whilst watching the action, and it's extraordinary. And it's one of those films that just it sticks with you.
It's a technical marvel in filmmaking.
It is.
Give it, if you personally don't like these types of films, I think it's one of those technical marvels that might just win it on that alone.
Yeah. And I was, being a filmmaker like you, Matthew, I was, while watching the film, because I had heard going in, it's like one long take, I was trying to see where they could cut.
I actually forgot to count.
I was trying to see
I
where
was
they
so
could cut.
entrenched into the film, I forgot to count.
Entrenched, I like that. Entrenched, very good, very good. There you go. Unscripted that as well. Or maybe it was scripted.
No, I didn't intend to use that. I just used the word.
You just used the word drenched. I love it. But yeah, I counted 4 places where they could have cut. I mean, obviously the middle bit where the soldier
Retroactively,
gets,
I thought 3.
yeah, whenever it got really dark, like when they entered into a trench and it got really dark, that's where you can.
I would have thought when they're where the camera's just being a bit spazzy on the ground.
Oh, that could be
so
another
they
place.
start off here and then they go, whoop.
But I thought whenever you go to somewhere dark, it's black. You can tell that's a cut. That's a very easy cut.
My personal favorite scene is that one where the flares are going over the.
That is that I think like in that moment there's a beauty to that. There is a real beauty to that. There's you were in the middle of a war. There's someone running after you. You're getting shot at. Yet when those flares are going,
you can't really pinpoint where the other shooters are.
You don't know.
They're in that moment.
It's almost like a hedge or a game where you just kind of you're getting led.
The game tells you where the opponents are.
Some games don't.
Yeah.
But this particular game, it was just extraordinary. That moment, and knowing that how they made that was all a set, and that was during the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. You watch the footage of them filming that, and that was all during the day.
Sunset, though.
No, not even. It was
Middle of the day.
grey. Looked like it was filmed midday. They must have.
They just put a bunch of ND filters on.
Must have, and that's what I mean.
And
The visual
the flares
component.
really bright.
It must have all been added in. It wasn't filmed at night. That was the craziest
Really?
part. Watching it, it was all done during
Well,
the
if it
day.
was filmed at night, then they would be running into a lot of things, wouldn't they?
They would, because you see the amount of debris.
Apparently, they had like a miniature set version of that to test out the flares to see
Wow.
how they would react to the light.
Wow.
And that whole thing was so eerie and so.
And the build up to that, he goes and takes refuge underneath a building, and he meets literally the only woman in the film and a baby.
Was she?
I think so. I didn't count any other women in the film. I could be wrong. They don't use any flashbacks to their previous lives
Catch
and
up.
that kind of thing.
Catch up with Vice on the article on that.
Check up
Spoiler
on
alert.
check up on
The
that.
movie wasn't made for you.
Check up on that. But it was a beautiful
That's a
moment
joke.
because he
That's a
shared this intimacy with the
Yeah.
family, and then he realizes the time and he needs to go, he needs to deliver this message, and then
Right.
there's this beautiful music with that moment. So there were just so many wonderful moments in this film where you just think, wow, this is just pure filmmaking.
Out of this whole list, that film is pure film.
Pure film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. You just felt so immersed in the story. You wanted to see these soldiers succeed.
You gotta see it in a big screen. Right?
Yeah, don't
buy it on Blu-ray. Get your
cheat yourself.
surround sound.
Do not cheat yourself with this
Yeah.
film. You need to go and see it in cinemas, or
yes.
just as
Don't
you said,
even eat.
don't.
Don't even drink. Just. Sit
I don't think
there.
I ate popcorn. I don't
No.
think there was a moment where I just felt relaxed. I was so immersed in the story.
I think I bought a drink, but I didn't touch it.
Yeah. And the symbolism in this film is really powerful as well. If you're someone who's really into your details, you'll notice things that connect, and so it's important. You need to make sure that you really keep your eye on that as well.
All right, we got two more.
Okay.
We got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Loved it. Saw it 4 times in cinemas. I've been to Hollywood.
Would you say it's your favorite film of the year? As in.
Yeah.
You know what I was talking about Ford versus Ferrari before?
Oh yeah. This is definitely my favourite nostalgic film. I love Tarantino as a filmmaker. I watch Pulp Fiction so many times. The more that you watch this film, the more details you see, the greater appreciation that you'll get for the film itself and the way that they recreated Hollywood. And then the best part is, in Tarantino fashion, the way he ends this. This is one of his historical films where he captures, it's kind of like Inglourious Basterds, he'll capture, 1940s, how they assassinated Hitler. This is like a flip on how the Manson murders happened in Hollywood in the 1969. And the way it ends is so satisfying. You need to know the historical context in order to appreciate it, but if you have that, then you will love it.
It's a really deep film.
Yeah, it is.
Unexpectedly.
It is very deep. This film really speaks to the time in Hollywood. It speaks to, not only the rich actors that were around Hollywood at the time, but it speaks to the rebellion that was happening. It speaks to the Manson cult, and it speaks to what the city was like at that time. The excitement of some of the bands and the pop
LA
culture.
feel.
Oh yeah. and it's so well made. I just
And there's we know the context of the Hollywood system. Then
yeah.
yeah.
It's
You
so
see it
good.
trickled in as well.
And it's just got that.
Wonderful.
It's just got that quirk as well. It's got all the Tarantino quirks. If you're a Tarantino film addict, you will watch this film and you'll go, oh, there's the feet. Oh, there's a little ad that he's made that, you know, oh, there's this interior
I
of
think we
this.
saw more of that
trailer.
ad in the trailer.
Yeah, we did.
Than in that.
Yeah, we did. That ad barely showed up. There is an extended cut that I bought my dad, and that has more of that scene in it. Because it's that weird dance, you know.
You gotta track one of those down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I think that shot is what sold me on watching the film.
It did. And then it became this really cool GIF that I was using in a lot of my messages, which I loved, which I appreciated. So, will this win Best Picture? I really hope it does. I love this film. I appreciate Tarantino, but it's not one.
Tarantino won Best Picture?
I do not know, actually. I'm going to do a quick research.
But he says he's got one more film after this in him.
He does. And I think you might have mentioned this to me before. It's not the film that you'd expect.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like a horror film, didn't you say?
I think so. Go search it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those Tarantino films that I think that has that rewatchability.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely when you're watching it for the first time, you don't know what's going on because you don't feel like anything's connected. But, you know, that's kind of the point. It's a whole experience. It's the Hollywood experience, isn't it? And, like, I remember being like, what the hell is Margot Robbie about? She's just in the film, you know?
Ah, so here you go.
But, like, Margot Robbie, what was I going to say? My brain's
Margot Robbie in Once Upon a Time.
No.
Yeah.
So the dialogue in this film is quite Shakespearean, we'll say. Quentin Tarantino-esque. It's got that Shakespearean feel where it's like, you know your lines, you know, but then there's a bit of like a theatre twist to it, you know.
So,
But go anyway.
So to answer your question, Best Picture. This is his first nomination for Best Picture.
Really?
Can you believe that? At the Academy Awards, this is his first nomination for Best Picture. Now, he's won Best Original Screenplay twice for both Pulp Fiction and Django Unchained, and he was nominated for Inglourious Basterds, and he is nominated for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But this is his first Best Picture at the Academy Awards. This is his first Best Picture nomination. Can you believe that?
No.
I can't believe that.
I thought you would be nominated at least.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Kill Bill doesn't come up here much in any of his nominations. I mean,
I'm surprised at least Inglourious Basterds wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
It was 2008, wasn't it? I think.
No, 2009, but it might have featured in the same year, possibly. But
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why.
Best Original Screenplay.
Because it was a few years after they had more nominations for Best Picture. I think.
And he's never won Best Director.
Really?
Actually.
Best Director.
No, he hasn't. He's been nominated for Pulp Fiction and Inglourious Basterds. And he's also been nominated for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Best Director in our hearts.
Oh, yeah. Well and truly.
Alright, we got the last one. Parasite, which I haven't seen yet. Full disclosure.
It's on my list, big time.
It is like literally the next thing I buy on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
It's already out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah,
It came out yesterday.
DVD, yeah.
I believe if there was a film to win it that's not I don't want to say American film because plenty of.
Well, it's
1917 is a British film.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Let's say Asian cinema.
Yeah, South Korean.
South Korean cinema.
Wow.
Let's say that. All right. I know last year Roma won. So I was gonna say foreign. I'm like, no, last year Roma won. So there's no point. We already ticked that diversity quota for the day.
Bang. It's done.
No, but Parasite apparently is a very good film. Very not surreal, but very like themes-driven film that's got that best picture quality.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That's what I've heard.
That's what I've been hearing as well.
Yeah, and
which is why I'm really excited.
I didn't get a chance to see it. I mean, I'd hate to not see it.
The trailer's looking incredible.
I haven't seen anything.
You haven't seen anything?
I literally know, the only thing I know is that this film is best picture quality.
Yep.
That's the only thing I know.
High quality picture of a
And
bread
that's
getting
Korean.
hit by blood, and it looks phenomenal.
And Bong
That's
Joon-ho
all I'm telling
is
you.
one of my favorite directors, at least Asian directors as well.
Yes.
He's full stop one of my favorite. Snowpiercer, which I believe he did. Mm-hmm.
Let's have a little look into that. Yeah, this film's going to win some awards. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, he did Snowpiercer,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite films. Which
Yeah.
stars Chris Evans, good old Captain America.
Wow, Chris
Yeah.
Evans, gee whiz.
That's the good old. There's a theory out there that Snowpiercer is a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh wow,
Believe it or not.
it's a sequel.
Yeah,
Wow.
go up on YouTube and search that. And
I
There's a good
will have to look
So,
into
like,
some loopholes
alright.
there.
let's round it out.
Yep, let's round it out.
I'm gonna go with my personal favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Personal favorite experience at the cinema: Ford versus Ferrari. For
Mm,
me.
I like that.
My pick for best picture: 1917. My pick where
Smoking.
I wish it's one. I really wish it's gonna win, but probably
Mhm.
not. Is Parasite.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm of a similar belief to you. I believe 1917 is going to round it out. I think it'll be the first time that a film will win Best Picture and it doesn't have any nominations for Best Actor or Actress. That might be the first
Really?
time when that actually happens, yeah. That's what I read somewhere. Don't quote me on it, but
Well,
that's...
it doesn't. It's definitely not in any best actor or actress
Yeah,
category.
definitely. Which just kind of talks to the selflessness of
Yeah.
the kind of, the impartialness to the
Yeah,
characters.
but there's a thing about the film where it's like, what's differentiating this to those experiences?
Yeah, right, absolutely.
At the VMAX, what was it called? The
Oh,
IMAX.
yeah, the IMAX theatre,
The
yeah.
IMAX experience type
That's
of
right.
type of deal. I think there's a certain performance to this.
Yeah,
There's the whole film is a one big set. You gotta plan your performance
Mm.
directly in accordance to what's in the script / drawings. Missing the word.
It's like,
Yeah, and so they gotta plan that out, and the
Yeah.
performance is what's captured there.
that's
So
right, that's right.
it's
So,
this
yeah.
big long thing. That,
Big, long experience.
So but that's what sets it apart from an experience. An
Yeah.
experience is kind of like you are thrust into
Mm.
a thing, like you are kind of experiencing this thing with these
Yeah.
characters
Yeah.
and this whole big event as a whole.
Yeah.
So that I think that what differentiates it from a
Yeah.
IMAX, aquarium experience.
And it's probably what sets it apart from the other films that have
Yeah.
been nominated as well.
It
So
does feel like a film.
it does. It feels like a film that's worthy to get this award.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd probably say best theatre experience was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Just
Yeah.
loved the nostalgia, really enjoyed
I
it.
can see
We,
that.
we cheered, when the Manson thing went, on its head. That was exciting.
That was funny.
That was a thrill.
Yeah.
My brother's not good with gore and blood, and so he nearly fainted. So I had to try and keep him alive while
Really?
also enjoying the film. Yeah, he nearly fainted because it was just so extreme. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Some people get triggered by that. He fainted when he dissected like a sheep's heart, doing a science experiment back in high school. So yeah, I should have remembered that because it was the third time I saw it when I saw it with him, and yeah, I should have remembered that would have triggered him. But hey, I'll know for next time when he sees it. And then a Smokey, a film that could win it out of nowhere. I feel like maybe Joker could surprise some people.
Oh yeah, Joker.
I think that's going to surprise some
Joker's definitely
people.
a dark horse.
And I'd love to see Jojo Rabbit win, but yeah. 1917 I'm going to stick with, but the Joker.
But let's say this: any of these films, any other year,
Any other year,
should win.
strong, really strong,
Yeah.
really strong list. It's a great list.
Can you name another year that's like this?
We'd have to look for our archives, but from the surface, this is a really great variety of films and really great directors and really well executed films. They're nominated for a reason. I mean, how many nominations are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's
I feel like this list is larger than usual.
yeah. It feels like it is. I feel like some years there's only 4, but there's a lot this year. So speaks to the quality of films
This
that
is
are
the
coming.
first year where I've seen most of these films.
And Lonnie, for all those people that say cinema's dead,
Well, it's
Well,
well and truly alive.
go and see these films and
I
tell me whether
believe
it's dead.
there is room for both.
Yeah, there is. There is. You've got your streaming services that allow these films to be put directly into the streaming services as opposed to going straight through cinema.
And 2 of these are on streaming services.
Correct.
2 of these debuted in streaming.
Correct. But regardless of that, it shows that both formats work, shows that you're always going to get audiences, and it shows that there's a keen interest for films. So it's impressive.
Alright,
Future's going to be bright, man.
right. It's cool.
That's
We
cool.
backed up our backlog for
We
a
did.
month.
We had a month worth of content here. Thank you very much for listening and watching. And
Right. We'll catch
we
you
hope
next
you
time.
can join us. Yeah, come and join us next time, and we'll wrap up the Oscars
We'll see if we're wearing different clothes.
and wrap up the hostless Oscars.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got miniature host, but not.
Bring back Kevin.
Yeah, bring back Kevin.
Yeah.
Go easy on him.
Did nothing wrong.
Go easy on him.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
Can't hurt you. It's like 5 foot nothing.
Angry man.
He's probably taller than me.
He probably is. Beat the shit
All
out
right.
of us.
See ya.